Hey guys, it's Dawn again coming at you from my kitchen table here in Texas. I have a follow-up video to the one I did on Friday about abortion, about New York, Cuomo, his leaders, and any of those who condone in murder. I am doing this video as an encouragement, and I am choosing to do this video to build up, encourage, and possibly shed some light to the healthcare workers that are struggling with this bill. The healthcare workers that took an oath to do good and right by their patients, no matter how tiny, that every life has value. I wanted to share with you in the very word of our Elohim that when it comes to protecting life, it's okay to lie. I know. A couple of weeks ago, we had a Torah portion that talked of two gals that I want to introduce you to in the book of Exodus, who are very important and who have ministered to me in a great, great way. One as being an abortion attempt survivor, but two in this whole thing. These are two women. Excuse me. These are two Hebrew midwives, and they are living with our ancestors, the Hebrew Israelites, in Egypt when our ancestors were in captivity in Egypt. And I want you to notice the metaphors here as I'm reading this and talking about this, because as I call Andrew Cuomo an Antiochus type, an Antiochus type, and then also maybe the governor of Virginia. These leaders are not God. They do not decide when life begins and life ends. And just like Pharaoh. So I'm seeing a parallel with the Pharaoh of Egypt that decided to kill all the firstborn males because of his hate for the Hebrew Israelites, and because they were afraid they were going to overpopulate and take over and start a war. So he signed a decree to have all the firstborn males destroyed. And he even went to the Hebrew midwives and told them to do the same thing in the midst of a birth. So I'm going to read this to you, and I want you to be encouraged. I'm going to try to not say a bunch of ums in this video, but I really want you to be encouraged. So I'm going to introduce you to three people, three women in the Word of God that lied to save lives and were blessed. So y'all listen up. This is in Exodus 1. I am starting in, I have written over it and I can't tell. I'm starting in verse 9 or verse 8. Now there arose a new king over Egypt who did not know Joseph. And he said to his people, "Look, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come, let us deal shrewdly with them, lest they multiply, and it happen in the event of war that they also join our enemies and fight against us, and so go up out of the land." Therefore, they set taskmasters over them to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh supply cities, Pithom and Ramses. But the more they afflicted the children of Israel, the more they multiplied and grew. That is so Father, isn't it? And they were in dread of the children of Israel. So the Egyptians made the children of Israel serve with rigor, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar, in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All their service in which they made them serve was with rigor. Then the king of Egypt spoke to the Hebrew midwives, of whom the name of one was Shiphrah, Shiphrah. I want to introduce you to her. And the name of the other midwife was Puah, Puah. And he said, "When you do the duties of a midwife for the Hebrew women and see them on the birth stools, if it is a son, then you shall kill him. But if it is a daughter, then she shall live." Y'all listen up to this, verse 17. But the midwives feared Elohim. They had more of a fear for the one true God the creator of the universe than they did the Pharaoh. Knowing the Pharaoh could rise up against them and kill them for being disobedient, they feared the Elohim because they knew how important life was. But the midwives feared the Elohim and did not do as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the male children alive. They were disobedient to the law of the land, their conscience that the Father created them with, the compassion that they were born with, to speak up for the fatherless, to speak up for those that cannot speak up for themselves, even though they were ordered by the law of the land, even though they could have been killed. They still feared and respected the one true Elohim. They did not do this. So let me tell you how Father repaid him. So the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said to them, "Why have you done this thing and saved the male children alive?" And the midwives, they lied. The midwives said to Pharaoh, "Because the Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women, for they are lively and give birth before the midwives come to them. So they are just passing these babies out before we can get to them," which is not the case. Therefore, Jehovah, God, our Elohim, dealt well with the midwives. And the people multiplied and grew very mighty. And so it was because the midwives feared the Elohim that he provided households for them. He gave them children. He provided households for them. He blessed them, and they lied to protect life. So I just want to encourage you with Shiphrah and Puah here that they understood the beauty of the humanity of life. They understood what they had to do. And let me share with you a little history about what else Pharaoh did. This new Pharaoh that did not know Joseph, he was so hard on the Israelites that he actually made a decree that if the Israelites did not produce the number of bricks that they were supposed to produce a day, the Egyptians were supposed to take the firstborn out of that worker's house and put it in place of the brick and seal the child in there. So when they say that this place was built on the bones of our children, that is exactly what they're talking about. But the Hebrew midwives defied the law of the land, and they lied to save life. So I want to encourage you with this. There's a wonderful ministry out there. If you are in the abortion industry, and you want to get out, there's a wonderful ministry called And Then There Was None by Abby Johnson. She's precious. I'm sure you've heard of her. Give her a call if you want to get out of the abortion industry. But if you are still in the abortion industry or you're in the healthcare industry of any sort and you are asked to take a life, you don't have to do it just because it's the law of the land. You can walk away. My petition is that you would fear the one true Elohim before any man. Fear the one who can take your soul. Don't fear the one who can take your flesh. So I hope you're encouraged by Shiphrah and Puah. I hope you're encouraged by their bravery. I hope you're encouraged by the extent that they went to save a life. Are there those that would be willing to go to jail to save a life for the sake of humanity? Now, believe me, I am not encouraging a mob riot here. I am not encouraging to go and just blow up anybody, anything. I'm not encouraging that here. You do not repay evil with evil. But here, Father gives us an example where he blessed two women who lied to the Pharaoh who said, "Kill these male children." And they didn't do it. And there's somebody else I want to introduce you to. You've probably heard of her. She's in the book of Joshua. And it's a gal named Rahab, R-A-H-A-B. B as in boy, Rahab. She was a harlot. I won't get into this, but I will tell you how, once again, she lied to save life. She lied when the spies from the Israelite army came to hide. And then those that were after them, she hid them on her roof under her stalks of flax that was laid in order on her roof. And when those that were chasing these Israelite spies came to her house and they said, wait a second, where are these guys? Where are these people? And she said, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know where they are. And they said, well, which way did they go? And she goes, well, I think they went to the east. When they didn't, they were right up on her roof. And then they were going to go to the west, I think. She was a harlot, but she protected life. She lied to protect life. And then if you read in Joshua, I think it's Joshua 2-ish, where it talks about her. Oh my gosh, you guys, her household, her brothers, her sisters, her immediate family, and all that they had were saved from destruction. And then on top of that, she married a guy named Salmon, Salmone, from the tribe of Judah, gave birth to a guy named Boaz, who married Ruth, who gave birth to Obed, then who gave birth to King David. So Rahab, a harlot, lied to protect life and is in the line of our Yeshua the Messiah, our Yeshua Hashmiah. Mashiach. I can't say that word. Our Yeshua the Messiah. She's in the line of our Yeshua, and she lied to protect life. So I just want you to be encouraged by these three women in the Word of God that lied, that did not follow the Shifra and Puah did not follow the law of the land. They didn't. They protected life, and they were blessed. And be encouraged by Rahab that she lied. No matter what you have done, Rahab was a harlot, y'all. She was a harlot. And she lied to protect life because she said, I have seen what your God has done. She was fearful of him. She goes, I have seen what he has done through you guys, and I don't want any part of it. She feared him, and she lied to protect life. So guys, I pray that that just because it's the law of the land doesn't mean you have to do it. Just be encouraged by that. Fear the one who created you. Fear the one who can destroy your own soul. Fear that one who loves you and who needs you here for his sake. So anyway, guys, I hope you have a blessed day. Just be encouraged and know that governors are not God. The law of the land, if it defies the word of God, Father will bless you to protect life. So may you go in peace, and I love you guys. And if you need to reach me, you can reach me at bridesoftheharvest@yahoo.com. Shalom, y'all. Bye.